Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Troy. Hey, listen, the House Freedom Caucus, otherwise known as the MAGA fascist Trump cult in the United States House of Representatives, has released their proposed federal budget for the next fiscal year, and it is a doozy. They want to cap overall discretionary spending at fiscal year 2022 levels for 10 years, allowing 1% growth per year, which would be a $131 billion cut in the current from the current levels of federal spending. The White House is calling this a 5-alarm fire, and it's really just indicating what hypocrites these people are when they talk about being pro-law enforcement, when they criticize the Democrats for talking about defunding the police. This would eliminate funding for more than 2,000 border agents. The MAGA fascist caucus budget proposal would eliminate funding for the Border Patrol, for 2,000 Border Patrol agents, which the White House says would allow for an additional 150,000 pounds of cocaine, 2,000 pounds of heroin, and 17,000 pounds of meth to enter the country, while these people make fentanyl and the fentanyl addiction crisis in the United States a political issue and try to blame Democrats and Joe Biden for the fentanyl crisis in the United States. Their budget cuts funding for the Border Patrol, which would allow nearly 900 pounds of fentanyl to enter the United States, according to the White House. Biden's budget wants to hire 350 more Border Patrol agents and $535 million more for border technology at ports of entry, and $40 million to combat fentanyl trafficking. So Joe Biden actually wants to increase funding to fight fentanyl trafficking at the border to the tune of $40 million. And the MAGA fascist response is to cut that funding, not only deny that funding, but cut funding for the Border Patrol to bare bones, which would allow fentanyl to pour into this country, while they accuse Joe Biden of being soft on the border and having open border policies. It would also eliminate 400 law enforcement positions, which would mean a hiring freeze at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Again, talking about defunding the police. It would scale back rail safety inspections that could lead to 11,000 fewer rail safety inspections next year alone, and 30,000 fewer miles of inspected rail track annually. So once again, the MAGA Republicans in Congress criticizing Pete Buttigieg and the Department of Transportation over the recent train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Their budget would eliminate inspections for 30,000 miles of track and 11,000 fewer rail safety inspection days. It would also jeopardize airport security, increase security wait times by 30 minutes, because it would shut down services at 125 air traffic control towers across the country at a time when Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg says that we are seeing more mistakes in air traffic control than usual, more near misses than usual. So once again, they're criticizing Pete Buttigieg's handling of the Department of Transportation, while they want to gut funding for air traffic control, increasing wait times for security, and potentially causing more air tragedies as a result of decreased air traffic control services. Their budget proposal would also eliminate Biden's plan for $400 billion student loan forgiveness, reclaim unspent COVID funds, and increase work requirements for welfare recipients. Just typical MAGA fascist right-wing boogeymen that the MAGA caucus is going after here. They're insisting upon all of this. They're insisting that they will not vote to increase the debt ceiling unless these proposals are considered and passed by the White House, which would cause the United States to default on its debts, which would cause a damage to the full faith and credit of the United States, crippling the global economy. They're willing to absolutely destroy our economy and tank the global markets just to engage in some fake culture war bullshit. Biden, for his part, has a plan to trim federal deficits by nearly $3 trillion over the next 10 years through saving efforts, and most notably by raising taxes on those earning more than $400,000 a year. Biden plan will cut spending, but also increase revenue for the federal government, because that's how you decrease deficits, decrease spending, and increase taxation on the wealthiest Americans who can afford to pay it. That is the Biden plan for decreasing the federal deficit, decreasing the federal debt over the next 10 years. The MAGA Republican plan, gut the federal government, gut federal programs, just a catastrophic elimination of federal programs that so many Americans have come to rely on, that the Biden administration is calling a 5-alarm fire, a total elimination of safety programs, law enforcement programs that would really actually lead to an open border with fentanyl and other drugs pouring across our border, as well as the elimination of other key law enforcement personnel. So MAGA Republicans really showing their hypocrisy here with this budget proposal. Once again, this is all based on red meat that they want to throw to their base. They are holding the debt ceiling hostage in an attempt to get this budget proposal passed. It will not pass. Once again, they should not be getting anything for holding the full faith and credit of the United States hostage to their culture war bullshit. We do not default on our debts. The United States pays its debts. Raising the debt ceiling just means that we're going to pay our debts. Raising the debt ceiling is not involved in future spending. It's involved in paying for past spending, for paying our debts that were incurred under the Trump administration, under Republican leadership. So we pay our debts, we don't default on our debts, and we don't hold the debt ceiling hostage to MAGA fascist demands. These are demands from the MAGA fascist caucus that we will not give into. They should be getting absolutely nothing for raising the debt ceiling. They get nothing for paying the debts, agreeing to pay the debts of the United States. So really playing their cards here, showing their hand, revealing what absolute hypocrites they are, while they accuse Biden of having open border policies. They want to just cause a massive gap in border security by tremendous cuts to the Border Patrol. So typical hypocrisy from the MAGA fascist caucus in what the White House is calling a 5-alarm fire of a federal budget. For MeidasTouch, this is Troy. Remember, smash that subscribe button to keep supporting independent media.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.